Hello and welcome to It's Science. Today in It's Science we are going to answer a very basic question of physics, which is, while I am standing on the ground on the soil, what are the types of forces acting on me? First is gravity, which is pulling me downwards towards the center of the earth. And as a reaction to that force, we know that Newton's third law says each action has equal and opposite reaction. So the action of the gravitational force is another force which is acting upward towards me, my center of mass, which is, for every human being, the center of mass resides just below our navel point.
With the help of free body diagram in physics, the forces acting on a body is illustrated. Suppose this person is falling from his row and the force of gravity mg is acting downwards. So this is a free body and this force of gravity is acting downwards. So the head of the arrow, tip of the arrow is downwards on it, and the length of the arrow will determine the magnitude of the force.
If we, just for illustration, think that this is the direction of the force, and if we assume that this is the arrow of the vector sign of the force, then this arrow is upward, which means the force is acting upwards. In the free body diagram, what we do is we assign the forces with the vectors. A vector which is of greater magnitude is assigned by or denoted by a bigger arrow, and a force or any kind of vector which is smaller in magnitude is denoted by a smaller arrow. We can see that this is of a bigger length than this one, which means on this particular portion of the ground, the force acting here is greater than the force acting here. This is just for illustration purpose. Now one may think that how ground can exert a force. To illustrate this, let me show you something. So if we think that ground itself is like this mattress, then when I am standing on the ground, the gravity is downward. As a reaction, there are two forces acting on both of my feet, which is the reaction force to the gravity. These forces are called normal forces because direction of this force is just perpendicular to the ground. When we started moving, there will be another force which comes into play. When I try to walk on the surface is pulling me backward. This is a force of friction. Friction comes only when we try to walk on a surface. So the three forces acting through my center of gravity are: first, the gravitational pull acting downwards; second and third are normal forces acting upward through both of my feet. These three forces are balancing each other, they are cancelling each other. That's why I am at rest at this place. By the way, this is a very historical place. This is the first ever tea plantation of Darjeeling. This is Alubari Fulbari Estate, and this tea estate were established by Dr. Campbell. Let me show you some tea flowers and tea fruits. This is a bud which is about to blossom. Let me show you some tea flowers also. These are tea flowers, what you can see here. Tea fruits. And the tea is produced from this thing, the two leaves and one bud. Thanks for your time.